So welcome to the class. A couple of you have never been to one of my more in-depth classes before. Oh, I love the kitty, Kelly. So
Yes, she
cute.
woke up from her slumber to grace us with her presence.
So I do have like a 10-page PDF here of everything I'm going to be talking about. So if you're the kind of person who really likes taking notes, you're welcome to take notes. But all the recipes and the interesting facts and everything will be in the PDF that I'll give you after the class. So no need to take notes. You can just sit back, relax in your sweats, and like let the class wash over you, and that will work too. So today we're going to be talking about DIY cleaning, and I've taught this class a lot, and it gets better every single time I teach it. So I'm really proud of this one. I think this is the best cleaning class yet, so I'm really excited to share it with you. Now, we're going to go over some things to have on hand, some ingredients to have on hand, how those ingredients actually work to clean your house, which essential oils to choose for household cleaning, as well as some ingredient combos that you want to avoid for a variety of reasons. And then we'll dive a little bit more into some of the products that doTERRA has available if you just want to buy something to clean your house. And then it's going to be going over a whole bunch of recipes. So if you've been following me for a while and paying attention, like on Facebook, or attended one of the cleaning classes before, some of this info is going to be really familiar, but there is a lot of new stuff that's never made it in a class before. And one recipe I tried for the first time this morning, and it worked amazing. So yeah, I'm excited to share that one. So first of all, when you make your own DIY cleansers with essential oils, you have to keep in mind that essential oils are very potent. And so that means that they can eat into plastic over time if you're not storing it in the right kind of plastic. So if you are storing in plastic, pick a number 1 plastic that's really, really strong. And it'll say number 1 in the little triangle that's on the bottom. You probably can't see it. It's there somewhere. Right here. Okay, never mind. And it might say underneath PET or peat. And so that's the kind of plastic that's going to be strong enough to withstand the essential oils over time. I like reusing a lot of doTERRA's product packaging because, of course, they use essential oil safe plastics if it's a plastic package. So this is just a body butter container from doTERRA. So if you are buying some of their shampoos and different things, and it's something that you can reuse, it's likely going to be safe for storing DIYs. But you want to be for sure. Glass is always a fantastic storage container. You can just save your jars from the food that you buy, your, sauces and pickles and that sort of thing. And you can also store in stainless steel, any glazed ceramic that, any moisture won't absorb into. Those are all great to store your cleaning products. Um, some great tips. First of all, you can buy glass spray bottles from essential oil supply companies and maybe like an eco store or a health food store. So you can buy glass. You don't necessarily need to, though. Um, you can reuse a lot of glass bottles. So a typical sprayer head will go on a mineral water bottle. If you're using like an apple cider vinegar that comes in glass, like Bragg's or some other brands will come in a glass bottle that looks similar to this. Head will just screw right on top. So you can just keep your glass bottles, and you can often find spray heads in like dollar stores or like a home hardware as well. And so you don't necessarily have to buy like a specialty glass bottle for storing your spray cleansers. um, you can also, if you're doing like a shaker cleanser, just from the dollar store, you can get these like spice jars that are meant for dried herbs or, red pepper flakes, that sort of thing. These are great for your spray or your sprinkle cleansers. But also, if you like having Parmesan cheese, just save your lid from your Parmesan cheese, and it actually screws onto a mason jar. So yeah, good to know. You could also, take a mason jar lid and bang holes in it with a nail if you really want to go DIY. That's also an option if you don't want to buy a specific bottle. So let me see what else. Oh, you can also, if you want like a smaller spray bottle, you can buy these. It comes in a 4-pack, and so they're cheap and easy. You can throw them onto an order as well, and so you could have these maybe for like a bathroom spray or like a fabric refresher spray, that sort of thing. So these are good ones to have as well, and they're also essential oil safe, obviously. So I have top 5 ingredients that you can have on hand besides essential oils. And using these 5 ingredients, if you just have them in your house, you'll be able to basically clean your whole house. There are a few kind of rogue ingredients that you can choose to have as well. But these are the good top 5 to have. So they are distilled water, baking soda, white vinegar, hydrogen peroxide, and like a natural liquid soap, like a Castile soap. So how do these 5 ingredients clean? Doesn't help to really clean so much. It's $2 for a giant thing like this. So I just have this for all my DIYs. But the distilled water makes sure that your products that you're going to be storing over time are less likely to have contaminants and pathogens in them. So it'll keep your cleanser cleaner over time. And so you can also use, if you don't have distilled water, and have it filtered water, and you can just boil it for 10-15 minutes, allow it to cool down to room temperature, and that's going to be pretty good too. That's going to kill any pathogens and sort of remove anything that might come into your tap water from your water pipes. So baking soda is number 2. Now, if you look carefully, you can get bigger boxes of baking soda. Often you'll find this maybe in like hides the smaller boxes that you find in the baking aisle. So really good to have a big box if you really get into DIY. So obviously baking soda is abrasive. But it's also mildly alkaline. So it's an 8 on the pH scale. So 7 is neutral, 8 is just a little bit on the alkaline side. So that means it's deodorizing. So most unpleasant smells are either acidic or alkaline. And so having baking soda in the environment actually brings the environment closer to neutral. And so those smelly substances are less likely to smell because their pH has actually changed. And some bacteria thrive in an acidic environment. So using baking soda in your cleansers will make that area less hospitable to those bacteria as well. Again, super cheap and easy to just have like on your sink or anything. Obviously, it's acidic. It's on a 2 or 3 on the pH scale. It's great for cleaning alkaline substances. So that could be mineral deposits, soap scums, that sort of thing. That's really where vinegar is really going to thrive in your cleansers. It is also quite antifungal, anti-mildew, anti-mold as well. So really good to use in those instances. It can kill most, but not all bacteria, and it can kill some viruses as well, but it's not as good as soap in terms of eradicating pathogens. But the thing with white vinegar is you shouldn't use it on stone surfaces. So if you have like granite countertops, don't use vinegar on it because it'll actually destroy the surface. Hydrogen peroxide is another good one to have. So it's also quite acidic. Also great for cleaning alkaline things like soap scum in your bathrooms. It has a bleaching effect. It has an extra oxygen atom over water, so that's a little bit more, purifying and bleaching than actual water itself. But it's antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, anti-mold, anti-mildew, anti-basically everything. But it does need some time that has hydrogen peroxide in it, and then wipe it off immediately. Wait like 5 to 8 minutes before you come and wipe it down, and your hydrogen peroxide will work a lot better. Wearing gloves is a good thing for safety when you're using hydrogen peroxide, and also because it's acidic, don't use it on stone. Now, hydrogen peroxide breaks down with light exposure. So if you are storing products that have hydrogen peroxide in them, they should always be dark. No light can get in. So that's something to keep in mind. If it's something you want to store, make sure it's a dark plastic. So you can even get hydrogen peroxide with the spritz top on it, which is really handy for spritzing down surfaces. So you could just reuse this if you buy that hydrogen peroxide, and you got yourself a good cleanser bottle that will work for that ingredient. Then we have soap. So I've learned from working in museums that most adults don't know how soap works. So soap is made up of two parts. So it's made up of a fat and also an alkaline ingredient. So when we talk about like in pioneer times, how they would use animal fat from their kitchen and ash from their fire to clean, people go, well, that's disgusting. But of course, the animal fat is the fat, and the ash from the fire is the alkaline. So the fat sticks to the dirt because it's oily. And the alkaline part of the soap attracts the fat and also the dirt, because it's all stuck together, into the water. And that's how it's actually cleaned. Are removed from the skin or whatever surface you're cleaning, and they end up in the water. So when you get rid of the water, all of that is washed away. But soap also disrupts the fatty viruses as well. So that's why they say wash your hands is better than hand sanitizer. So soap is a star when it comes to cleaning your house. So my two favorite types of soap are Castile soap, which is just a natural vegetable based, very simple soap. This is Dr. Bronner's, which is probably the most popular brand of Castile soap. I like to get unscented, so that's this light blue bottle, because I want to, of course, add my own essential oils. And this is Dr. Bronner's. It's also fantastic bathroom reading because the label is entirely covered with writing. So this is fantastic to have for many, many, many of your personal care on top of cleaning. It can do so many different things. doTERRA also has a concentrated soap, On Guard Cleaner concentrate, which has the On Guard protective blend that we're going to be hearing about. And so it's just another version of Castile soap. It's very, very similar, but this comes with On Guard essential oil blend already in it. So often the recipes that come, there'll be like two versions in this recipe book. There'll be a version with the On Guard Cleaner concentrate, and then a plain Castile soap one in case you don't have this. The Castile soap version just has more essential oils in it, basically, to kind of make up for the fact that there's no On Guard. Into ingredient combos. Oh, also, I should say this bottle is excellent for reusing as well. It's a good squeeze bottle, and the label peels right off, no residue. It's chef's kiss. It's really good. So a few warnings about ingredient combos. So the first one is kind of dangerous. It's combining vinegar and hydrogen peroxide together in the same recipe. So it will create a parasitic acid when they're combined together, which can be irritating to the skin, eyes, and lungs. So if you want to use both of them, just don't combine them in the same recipe, but you can use them back to back, and that's okay. Number two is my pet peeve, so I'm going to leave that one to the end. So number three is putting vinegar and Castile soap or On Guard Cleaner concentrate together in the same recipe. I did this early on when I was experimenting. It became this oily, soapy, gloopy mess in my toilet bowl. So what happens when you put the vinegar, it's called unsaponified soap. So basically you separate the fatty part of the soap back out and it stops being soap. So there's no soaping and cleaning action happening. You just have a gloopy, oily mess. So that's not what we want. So again, you can use them back to back, but just don't stick them in the same product in like high amounts together, because it's not going to turn out well. Another one is putting hydrogen peroxide and baking soda, which is perfectly safe to do. you're not going to have any ill effects. But the problem is if you make up a big batch of a DIY cleanser using these two ingredients and you seal up the jar and then leave it and forget it. Yes, Shannon knows. She just went, it will explode because it actually, the two ingredients will create carbon dioxide, which is gonna, and it could explode your container. So either make a small amount of what you're gonna use ASAP, or leave the lid open ever so slightly, or just like remember every once in a while when you're in that cupboard to open the lid, let the gas out, close it up. So those are your options. So the one that really annoys me is one that I see all the time in DIY recipes I see online, and it's taking two incredibly effective cleaning ingredients, putting them together and making something that doesn't really clean at all. And that is baking soda and vinegar. Again, they make carbon dioxide, that fizzy reaction. But then you end up not only with the carbon dioxide that you can't see, you get this kind of like this liquid, but it's not baking soda floating in vinegar. What it is sodium acetate and some water. So basically it's a slightly salty water solution, which is not really going to clean at all. So you can use the fizzy reaction of putting them together if like you have like a stubborn surface and you want to see if that will help to break up any buildup. You could do that. Or you can make use of the fizzy reaction. If you have a clogged drain, you can shove baking soda down there and then pour vinegar down there, and that will kind of help to break things up. But yeah, if you're putting it in a spray cleanser that you're keeping over time, it's not really cleaning anymore once it's sat after the chemical reaction has happened. So let's move on to essential oils. How do essential oils work for cleaning? First of all, I have to talk about citrus, because when it comes to actually cleaning grime, gunge, oily buildup, adhesive, like you would, if you peeled off a label, you have that adhesive buildup, any like burnt off up stuff on the bottom of a pan, permanent marker on a hard surface, can get glue out of hair. I've unstuck my fingers together from crazy glue using lemon essential oil. And it's also really conditioning for wood. So that's why we have like Pledge and Murphy's Oil soap that are lemon and orange scented, because they are very good for wood surfaces. And this is high in a chemical line, meaning that this is actually happening. So yeah, if in doubt, you have something really dirty you want to clean, use a citrus essential oil. But when it comes to essential oils and pathogens, they are also really good. I have actually in the handout included the link to some surveys of different studies that have been done on essential oils. So the studies are kind of in early days, but there's been some really promising results about how they actually clean and eradicate different pathogens. So for bacteria, essential oils can disrupt the structure of the membrane around the bacteria, and getting into that cell wall, and it can kill the bacteria. Studies have demonstrated that essential oils can be effective against different fungal species, but they're trying to figure out exactly how that mechanism actually works. So that hasn't been figured out quite yet, but it has shown that it happens at the very least. Studies have also investigated potential anti-parasitic effects of essential oils, and also essential oils can modify the virus envelope structure or mask the proteins inside a virus, which are necessary for them to enter into host cells. So they sort of stop them in their tracks so they can't replicate. And they can also inhibit viral actions like attachment, replication, and being released from host cells as well. So early days, but you can click on in the PDF and you can really get into it. So what essential oils to use in your cleansers? Now, as I said before, grab a citrus. You can't go wrong with citrus essential oil. doTERRA has a few blends actually. They are On Guard Protective Blend, Purify Cleansing Blend, and Abode Refreshing Blend. So grabbing one of those blends is always a good idea. Or you can look at the ingredient list of essential oils in those blends, and they have been selected because they're very good at a certain job. So you can use those individual oils as well if you want a little bit of a different aroma. So I'll start with Purify. So this is doTERRA's deodorizing blend. So to me, it smells like citrus, but you're also walking through like an evergreen forest. It's very fresh. I use it a lot in my laundry, but also in like deodorizing recipes as well. So it's got lemon, lime, Siberian fir, Austrian fir, pine, citronella, tea tree, and cilantro. So it's very, very fresh and refreshing. I like adding it even like a couple drops to my laundry as it's being washed, because I find that it really helps any like odor causing bacteria that might be in like dishcloths, for instance. It really helps to kind of freshen that up. We got On Guard Protective Blend, which is like orange and pumpkin spice, really yummy. So it's got wild orange, clove, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary essential oils. So On Guard is for cleaning your home, but also supporting your immune system as well. So this is safe for internal usage. But a newer blend for cleaning your house is a Bode Refreshing Blend. So to me, it smells herbal and spicy, very fresh, but it's a lot more of an intense aroma. So this is for purifying the air and also cleaning surfaces. So you probably don't want to use it topically on your skin like you would use On Guard. And it's definitely not safe to take internally. So On Guard you can take by mouth. Don't do that with a Bode. But a Bode is safe to use around your pets though. So it's pet safe essential oils. Lemon eucalyptus, tea tree, arbivitae, kochi eucalyptus, lemon myrtle, lavandin, and cilantro. So I'm going to share my screen because I have a took from the convention when this was launched. This is of like a of experiments to test how they did against other like common household pathogens. And then they narrowed it down to what's in the blend right now, which I think is 14. So here, okay, give me a second. I think I need to slides up. Okay, I'm just gonna go. I see the petri dish here. Not yet. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So the one on the right has a Bode oil in it. So that's that little drop, that extra little circle in the middle, and by coating it with this common pathogen. Week and we got day 2. You can see a little bit of 3 is looking quite like very. But on the right, it's looking pretty good, but something's starting to form and disgusting on the left, and it's happening, but it's still away from the Bode droplet. And then this is the same as day 6. So I don't have day 7 here to show you, but this shows you kind of the long-term effects if you put a Bode blend in cleanser or Bode line, which we'll get into a little bit later. I will read them off of different essential oils that you can use for different purposes. There's some that I want to kind of highlight because a lot of these really effective essential oils that you can use in your cleansers are lower cost. So you don't have to buy the, fancy $40 bottle of essential oil. You can get something that costs less than $20 and it's going to clean your house really well. So one of those ones I wanted to highlight was like bake is 20 something dollars, but very, very effective for putting in your cleansers, antifungal, anti-bug insect as well. And so a really good one to have on hand. But we have rosemary and eucalyptus essential oil, which are both contained in On Guard. These are really good for surface cleaning, and they both smell really good combined with the citrus essential oil as well. Clove bud is another one, which is lower cost, but is very effective, especially when you're dealing with fungus, mold, and mildew. It's really good for that purpose. Lemongrass as well, cleansing, but also really deodorizing. So really good to put in your deodorizing. And also I wanted to highlight lemon eucalyptus. So these are both not citrus essential oil. They smell like it though, but lemon eucalyptus is especially deodorizing for, let's say, bathroom smells. So great to have a spray if you want something you can spray around to freshen up everything. Really, really fantastic. Another great essential oil to highlight is Arbor Vitae essential oil. So this comes from the big red cedarwood trees. And to make this essential oil, doTERRA uses branches, twigs, and sawdust from the lumber industry, actually, so which would normally be a waste product. So then that plant matter is distilled to create this gorgeous essential oil, which it smells like a very deep cedarwood aroma. It's very, very nice. To the paper industry. So there's actually no waste, which I like as well. So Arbor Vitae is very, very cleansing to add to your spray cleansers for surface cleaning, but it's also really, really talented at conditioning wood. So it's a good one to grab if you want something on top of a citrus. Grab Arbor Vitae. You can imagine those big trees living such a long time, fighting disease that whole time, and also, you know, the wood is in good condition. You have, you know, fallen red cedarwood trees that have been down on the ground for a very, very long time, and they basically haven't rotted. So really good at preserving wood as well. So when you distill out the essential oils, you get those properties as well on top. So, oh, my foot is falling asleep. Give me a second. Switch positions. doTERRA has a line of products that they launched at the same time as the Abode blend. And so many of them actually have refillable glass dispensers. So there's a liquid dish soap, hand lotion, hand soap as well. And they all have these really lovely and really high quality, actually, containers that you can use. So, I mean, you could use these for your DIYs as well, and they're going to last a really long time. So if you want to venture off into the Abode products, just keep in mind that if you buy the product, you're going to need a container to put it in. So either you have something already at home, or you pick up this from doTERRA on your first order, and then you can just buy the refill containers, which are either glass or aluminum, so highly recyclable, or they're like minimal plastic kind of bags that you can roll up and don't have very much waste. So yeah, doTERRA really designed this line with sustainability in mind, but I'm gonna highlight the spray cleanser, which comes in, I don't have a refill, but a little tiny glass bottle concentrate like this. And often with these products in the Abode line, it comes to you concentrated, because that saves on shipping as well. So you're not paying to ship water. And so the surface spray, to make it, you just dump the contents of the entire little bottle in here, and there's like a little fill line. Where is it? It's at the top here somewhere. Here it is. Right at the top here, there's a little line. And so you just fill that up with distilled water. You got yourself a spray cleanser. But if you're using your own spray bottle like this, you can just use the refill and distilled. So that's really good. If you don't want to do that, it's not that hard to make your own spray cleanser. But if you don't want to do that little bit of extra futzing about, you can get the Abode spray cleanser, and it works really, really well. So yeah, feel free to, if you have questions, ask them or pop them in the comments kind of as we go along. But I'll just kind of go over the cleansers that were here. And as I said, they're all very, very simple to put together. So I have 3 different DIY cleansers, 2 soapy spray cleansers. One uses the Castile soap with a little bit more essential oil, and one uses the On Guard cleaner concentrate. So for my kitchen counters and things that I really want to keep the soapy cleanser or the On Guard cleaner concentrate, because it's better at cleaning away those pathogens. After you clean your countertops, if you want to do a little bit more of a disinfecting action, you can actually spray a layer of hydrogen peroxide over the surface. Or if you want to go more the typical bleach water solution, it's testing my food handler's knowledge. This is not in the handout. It's 1 teaspoon for 3 cups of water. And that's the Ontario Public Health ratio that you want to use to spray down everything. As well, I have a vinegar spray cleanser, which is better if you have soap scum that you want to clean, or, you know, like lime buildup or that sort of thing. I have a few different scrubbing cleansers. So these would be great to put in your Parmesan cheese lid container or your little spice. One is a kitchen sink scrub, which I actually have just plain baking soda, and I put some essential oils in there. So I like to put clove and lemon. I really like the smell. It's very fresh. So I just sprinkle those in there, and then I shake it up really well. And then I have my On Guard cleaner concentrate as well. And so when I'm cleaning, I just gotta have a sponge, sprinkle in each sink, do a tiny little spritz there of my cleaner concentrate. You could use Castile soap as well, or dish soap. It would also work. And then use a sponge, wipe it down, and it does a fantastic job of keeping everything shiny and spick and span. Soft scrub cleansing paste. These don't keep very well. So I make it what I'm going to use on the day. I find if I wait till next week, it starts getting dried out. So I don't keep it in a jar, but I just mix it in a little bowl. One recipe has baking soda, Castile soap, or the cleaner concentrate, and a citrus essential oil. Same, only it has baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, liquid soap, and essential oil. So this is one you'd have to be careful about storing because of explosion. I just mix it up. These two pastes are fantastic. I use them in my bathtub, sinks, stovetops, ovens are really good. And so you want to have it so you just spread it out a very thin layer over the area, dry, and you let the essential oils and the ingredients do their work to kind of break down any buildup that you want to clean off. And then you come with a wet sponge or a cloth and then wipe it away. And it works fantastically. Really, really good job. Oh, I should also mention, I'm going to do some promotion for another network marketing company right now. These are Norwex cloths. They're great for cleaning surfaces as well. This one is their kind of anti-pathogen cloth. Is called the Enviro cloth, and I do not understand how it works, but there's silver in the microfiber, and so you can just wet it. So if you wanted to do, after you do your extra purifying, I can't remember what percentage. I was just looking at their website today and trying to figure stuff out. It's like 98, 99% of pathogens are removed with the silver in this cloth. So that's something that you can do instead of spraying the hydrogen peroxide or the bleach water solution. You can get yourself an Enviro cloth as well. Yeah, and then I've got a whole whack of general cleaning recipes. Floor cleaner, I don't find anything that works better other than like a liquid soap, like the Castile soap, or the cleaner concentrate, some essential oils, bucket of hot water. It works great. So it's not a very complicated. It works well. Of course, I've gone into this a little bit. Citrus is great for cleaning a lot of different things. You can clean your microwave using citrus essential oil, a bowl of water, and a little bit of vinegar. You just put that bowl of water with all those ingredients in your microwave. You turn it on for a while and then leave the door closed, and the steam just kind of dissipates around your microwave. And then after 5 minutes or so, you open it up, you just have a damp sponge, and all the crusted on food, disgusting buildup just washes away like magic. So that's a great one to try as well. Next I have my mildew murder spray, which is a recipe actually that I developed because I have a very mildewy bathroom, because we rent, we don't have proper ventilation, and the window is broken. So the joys of renting a house, right? And so it's just, and you could either use a Bode refreshing blend, or you could do a blend of very antifungal essential oils. Tea tree, oregano, and clove is a favorite combo that I like to use. And so you spray the area down really well, let it sit for half an hour or so, and then wipe it down. So vinegar and hydrogen peroxide actually do a really better job of eradicating mold and mildew in porous surfaces like grout, so than bleach. So it's actually more effective. It'll soak into those porous surfaces and kill inside. But bleach, if you use it to kill mold or mildew, it just will kill whatever's on the surface, but it's not really going to soak down in, actually. So yeah, if you have that issue. Then I have a glass cleaner recipe. It's called Alvin Corn glass cleaner. Al is not Alvin and the Chipmunks. Al stands for Alvin. Vin stands for vinegar, and corn stands for cornstarch, but you can use any starch if you have tapioca, or arrowroot is usually what I have on hand. And so you just combine all this with some essential oils and water in a spray bottle. And you do have to shake it up because the starch kind of settles at the bottom before you spray it. This is effortless, streak-free. I've been told it gets rid of dog nose prints on windows like starch does, is it actually fills in the little imperfections on the glass or the mirror. And so then that's what causes the streaking is there's little tiny divots that you can't really notice, but there's water that sits in there. And so that's what that streakiness actually is. And so you're going to be wiping. It's going to look incredibly cloudy. You're going to go, what am I doing? This is horrible. And then keep going because suddenly it's just all going to clear away and you're going to have a spick and span streak-free window. But another thing you can do, more promotion for Norwex, is they have these window cloths, which actually work really well. And all you have to do is just wet it. And it gets, I don't have a dog, so I don't know how this does with dog nose. Moisturizing, lotiony fingerprints that I put on the bathroom mirror all the time gets rid of them really well. So this is another good one that you can have. Streak-free works really well. We have a stainless steel cleaner, which is the new recipe that I tried for the very, very first time today. We have a stainless steel garbage can, which honestly looks a little bit like garbage because I've never been able to clean it very well. And then I found this recipe because I was like, I don't have a gun on this garbage can. It's very simple. Just white vinegar, a little bit of citrus essential oil to help with any gungy dirt or fingerprints that might be on the stainless steel. Put it in a little bowl, put it together, you got yourself a sponge, you wipe it on. You could do that, always wipe in the grain, if there's a grain that you can see on the stainless steel. Wipe. And then once it's all covered, let it sit for about 5 minutes or so to do more of its action. Come in with a clean, dry cloth, wipe that off. And then you take another clean, dry cloth, you get a little bit of olive oil, you put it on the cloth, and good since I bought it like a very long time ago. So I'm very excited, although I did just try it for the first time today. But the woman who did the YouTube video that I saw said that she's been using this recipe on her refrigerator for the 10 years that she's had it. And it lasts, like the clean lasts for months, she said. So we'll see if that's true with my stinky garbage can. But yeah, that's my new recipe. If you spill something on your upholstery or your carpet, don't fear, grab salt, pile salt on top of it while it's still wet. The salt actually soaks out moisture, which is why salt is really good at preserving food. It removes the moisture from the food, and then pathogens can't live in the food, and it'll last a long time. Yeah, and if you notice, so the salt pile is getting saturated with the red wine that I spilled on my carpet, then you could just sweep it off and put another pile of salt on there, and then it should jump on it. I have a few different options for cleaning your toilet. I have a powder toilet bowl cleaner, a toilet bowl, kind of more liquidy, pasty, one that you can spray in. I put it in my On Guard reuse bottle. And also a fun fizzy toilet pod recipe using citric acid, which is what makes bath bombs so fizzy and fun. So this is a good one if you have kids. I've heard the kids really love helping to clean the bathroom if they can take a couple of fizzy toilet pods and shove them in the toilet and watch the explosion happen, and then they can get from Michael. Yeah, from Michael's. I've got a couple of wood conditioning recipes. One's more like a general dusting if you have like a nice table, so it's sort of like you would use Pledge for traditionally, so more everyday dusting, and then a more deep clean sort of wood polish spray that you're going to use every once in a while if you have some really nice wood that you want to keep conditioned as well. So you've got two options there. And then we got our deodorizing recipes. We've got a carpet deodorizer, which is a recipe given to me by someone who has a dog, and so it works really well to get rid of dog smells. She says it's just baking soda with maybe Purify, or if you don't have Purify, tea tree and lemon is a good substitute together. Sprinkle that on the carpet, keep the dog out of the room, and then go in after 15-20 minutes and vacuum it up. And she says it removes that dog smell from the carpet really, really well. I've got a Poo-Pourri room spray, which you can keep in your bathroom with lemon eucalyptus essential oil. I didn't grab my baking soda shake jar. Oh well. So I just have a little mason jar, the type that has the ring, but instead of putting the metal top on it, I put piece of fabric instead. And then I have baking soda and essential oils in there. So I keep it in my like linen closet, which for some reason always smells a little funky. It always has since we've lived here. So I don't know what happened in that closet. So I like to do either purify or lavender, and I refresh it every couple months. And I just combine the baking soda and the essential oil in there, shake it up really well, and then the fabric lid is really nice because then it's not going to spill all over my towels and sheets if it accidentally gets knocked. But the aromas and the baking soda can kind of get out into the air and do its thing. And so if I'm grabbing a towel, I can just pick up the jar and shake it, and it'll sort of redistribute things and sort of refreshen things. You could put it next to your, your green bin in your kitchen, or you could have one on top of your toilet bowl. So yeah, you can kind of have them around if you want. You can decorate them nice if you want to, or however you want to do it. And then I also have fridge refresher discs as well. So if you want to use those silicone molds again to make a baking soda and essential oil, like a lemon or a citrus might be really nice to put in your fridge. You could also do the baking soda shake in your fridge as well. And those are the recipes I have for you folks today. So do you have any questions about anything at all? No, we're all doing good?
I have one question.
Yeah, sure, Donna, go ahead.
I was making more dishwasher soap.
Yeah.
And have you ever made it in not in the silicone ones, but in regular ice cube trays? And you have to keep pressing it down and pressing it down because it keeps bubbling up.
Yes.
Have you ever? Yeah.
It happens.
What's the trick? Because the first time I did it, it worked out fine, but I was home the entire time and I just kept pressing it down. The second time I did it, I went out for an hour or so, came back, and it's had hardened too much, I guess, before I had pressed it down again.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't come out of the ice cube trays that time.
Oh, it just wasn't pushed down enough. I didn't really get into dishes and laundry, so that might be another class just because I had to cut something out. Yeah. It's a big topic. But yeah, there is a rest. Is it the one that I gave you, or is it another one that
it's got citric acid,
yeah,
baking soda, On Guard.
So probably, yeah, what's happening is because you need a little bit of liquid so it stays together, but the citric acid is going to react a little bit with that liquid.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just it's not like a full on like fizzy bath bomb action. But yeah, I think you're going to have to maybe do it when you're around.
Yeah.
And press it down. Yeah. Yeah. Because the citric acid, until it dries out, is going to continue to kind of react. I've also, if I'm not using the silicone or I run out of the silicone molds, I'll press it onto, like I'll put some parchment paper out on a cookie sheet, and then I'll like turn them out kind of while they're still wet. So I don't know if that will work for that particular recipe, but it worked for the toilet bomb things. Yeah. So yeah, and then you just kind of leave it alone, don't really move it, and it'll dry out that way as well. Yeah, so maybe try it while it's fresh and see if it works. Yeah, yeah, or silicone is really a lot easier because you can and pop it out. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't throw it out. I just capped it, and I'll just scoop it into the dishwasher. Right.
That's right. Yeah, like always, some of them aren't going to stay together, right? Anyway, so you just keep them in a jar and use them anyway. Yeah. Any other questions at all? No? So we do have next week. I decided in February, because it's been so long since I taught classes, I decided to do 3 in a month. So there is next week on Monday, the 27th, there's going to be an intro to essential oils class, 7:30. It seems to be the magic hour for everyone, so I just pick 7:30 because it suits most people most of the time. Yeah, so that's happening. It's on Zoom. If you haven't already told me that you want to come, just let me know. Then from then on in, I'm going to be doing kind of more of these themed classes, like the cleaning class, and these are all coming from people in the community, customers who've asked me questions or have said, oh, I'd like to learn more on this topic. So late May, after March break madness, it'll be cooking with essential oils, so using essential oils to flavor your food. And then at sometime in April, it's going to be using essential oils with cats and dogs. So I have some really good info that I've compiled over the years from veterinarians that use essential oils in their practice. So it's good, solid info. It's not like you know, Sally's blog says you can do this, you know. So yeah, I think that class is long overdue because I know many of us are pet owners. Requests down the road for a topic that you want to hear more about, just let me know. So yeah, thanks so much for coming out, and I'll send you this PDF. I guess Shannon, I'll send it to Kelly and she can send it to you.
Yeah,
Does that
that's
work?
perfect.
I hear you guys talk.
We
I
talk
hear
a
you
lot.
talk sometimes. Yeah.
Just a
So
little.
yeah, great
Just a
seeing
little.
everyone.
Thank you so much
and-
for the yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Julia.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Yeah,
Okay.
have a great night,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.